Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain TXP and today is the 15th of May 2023 and unfortunately guys, the matrix is looking absolutely terrible. This just might be one of the worst matrix I've ever seen in the history of cryptocurrencies. We'll definitely go ahead and look at that. Now in today's episode guys, we're definitely going to talk about a massive news that is going to take place today, and that news is surrounding the US debt ceiling. Now I do feel that the US debt ceiling will be increased, but we're going to look at what the US debt ceiling is and what kind of an impact will it have on the price of Bitcoin and eventually on other cryptocurrencies as well. So this week guys is absolutely crucial, not just for the fintech world but also for the cryptocurrency world. Now last week guys, there was some drama going on between Coinbase and PEPE coin, and looks like Coinbase did actually make a mistake by stating that PEPE coin is kind of linked to extreme right-wing ideologies. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. And look guys, the PEPE community is absolutely strong, and what I was doing is I'm looking at every tweet regarding Coinbase, but these tweets are followed by PEPE coin. So absolutely massive news, and looks like Coinbase did actually apologize as well. Now guys listen, we're going to be talking some news regarding Binance, and looks like they are leaving Canada as well. And listen guys, if you're into politics, you truly need to understand the left-wing ideologies and right-wing ideologies, and looks like the left-leaning administration or left-leaning ideologies all over the world are definitely not in favor of Bitcoin, freedom of speech, cryptocurrencies and open source innovation. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. And we have some positive news, and this is to do with LG Electronics, and looks like they're definitely getting into the NFT game. So definitely positive news. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And both the news this time is regarding Web 3.0. Now personally guys, I don't think so there is anything called as Web 3.0 because Bitcoin is Web 3.0, but nonetheless, let me go ahead and explain what the news is all about. Now the first news is about Dubai-based Hype Marketing. They are introducing innovative Web 3.0 marketing strategies. I really don't understand that, because reason being, when you're doing marketing for a Web 3.0 protocol, it just means that there is a centralized entity making decisions on behalf of the protocol. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss what the news is all about. Now the second news that is circulating in the cryptocurrency world is regarding Venom Foundation, and I've covered them several times in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast. But this news is regarding Africa, and the news is that Kenya and Abu Dhabi's Venom Foundation have joined forces to develop blockchain and Web3 hub in Africa. So definitely positive news at a macro level. It's going to be really interesting to see though how this news develops. So quite a lot to cover in today's episode. So let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee Date. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee Date, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee Date aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE, and Middle East region. Now, before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Shalhoub Group, a luxury retail and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse, and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now, what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now, instead of E, they have replaced it with Web3, and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now, if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below, you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse, and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. And guys, to be honest, this just might be one of the lowest metrics that I've recently seen when I'm talking about the DeFi volume, I'm talking about even stable coins, and the overall cryptocurrency market volume is definitely not ideal. Now, could this change once the US debt ceiling is increased? I definitely do think so. And these are areas, guys, that market manipulators are trying to reduce the price of cryptocurrencies. And once they identify things that are going on, regarding geopolitical situation and macro level, they tend to capitalize on these news. Now, the global cryptocurrency market as of today is at $1.13 trillion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.50%. Now, listen to this, guys. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is only down to $22.23 billion. This is a ridiculously low volume, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 22.47%. Now, the worst matrix, guys, which I haven't seen in a very long time. As a matter of fact, this just might be the lowest matrix I'm looking at so far as DeFi is concerned, and the total volume in DeFi is down to $1.45 billion. I do think that this might be the lowest 24-hour volume I've seen in DeFi. Now, the total value locked is also well below the $50 billion mark, and it is at $46.85 billion. One of the biggest anomaly is Lido's dominance. It has actually increased to 26.07%. So when you talk about DeFi, looks like Lido protocol is the only protocol that is actually working, not just in the Ethereum staking space, but also in the DeFi world. So far as the total value locked is concerned, Lido's dominance is at 26.07%, and on top of that, the total value locked has also increased, and it is at $12.14 billion. Now, so far as total value locked is concerned, guys, MakerDAO is number second at $6.95 billion, Aave at number third at $5.1 billion, Core Finance at $4.20 billion, and finally Uniswap at $4.24 billion. The last week, guys, what I did, I was looking at the 24-hour volume of the top 5 DeFi protocols. If you do want to check it, what I'd recommend you to do is go to DeFiLlama.com, and towards the left, you will see a section which says volume. To be honest, guys, the numbers are absolutely ridiculous. Now, guys, the next matrix that I'm going to be talking about is regarding stablecoins. And to be honest, this just might be the lowest matrix I've seen so far as stablecoins is concerned. And it is a bit ironic that Tether USDT or Bitfinex did actually announce that it made record profit in 2023. I really am hoping something shady does not come out from Tether USDT. Now listen to this, guys. The volume of stablecoins is down to $19.49 billion. Now the total crypto market volume is at $22.23 billion. This includes 24,000 plus different cryptocurrencies. And out of this $22.23 billion, guys, the volume of all stablecoins is $19.49 billion. Now granted, for a lot of these cryptocurrencies, you do need to use stablecoins in order to purchase that. Now that thing being said, the volume of Tether USDT is ridiculously low and down to $15.00 billion. This just might be the lowest 24-hour trading volume I've seen regarding Tether USDT. Now I'm hoping that there's some kind of mistake in updating this data, but looks like the volume is ridiculously low. Even Circle USDC's volume is down to $1.87 billion, and Binance BUSD's volume, guys, is $1.44 billion. And look, guys, I've been saying this quite often in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast. Binance BUSD's market cap has been on a downturn, and later on I'm going to talk about some unfortunate news where Binance is actually leaving Canada as well, and that news will definitely not help Binance. Now that thing being said, guys, stablecoins are still accounting for 87.66% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap is $520 billion, and Ethereum's market cap is $220 billion. Now, as and when the news develops regarding the US debt ceiling, I'm pretty much sure directly or indirectly, the market cap is going to be significantly impacted. The 24-hour trading volume is also going to be significantly impacted, because as of 15th of May, the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $10 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is less than 50% of that of Bitcoin, and it is at $4.69 billion. The dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum is relatively the same. Bitcoin is 46.40%, Ethereum is 19.70%. Now guys, the next matrix that I'm going to be looking at is the decentralized apps, but I'm only going to be looking at Cardano, and I'm going to be looking at EOS. Now mind you guys, EOS in 2017 did raise $4 billion for its ICO, and looks like $4 billion has completely vanished, and the protocol is pretty much dead. But nonetheless, let's discuss the top 3 decentralized apps working in Cardano first. The first one is a protocol called as MintSwap, and it looks like it is a DeFi protocol. The second one is JPG Store, which is an NFT marketplace, and the third one is SundaySwap. Now listen to this, guys. This is where it gets really scary. Now if you go to dappradar.com, you can actually check the number of unique interactive wallets interacting with decentralized apps, which essentially means the number of people actually using these decentralized apps. Now, so far as MintSwap is concerned, less than 2,800 people have been using it since the last 24 hours. So far as JPG Store is concerned, less than 2,000, it is at 1.88 thousand. And Sunday Swap, guys, take a guess. It is less than 750 people using Sunday Swap, and the actual number is 648. And we talk so much about blockchain technology about to change the entire world, but if you look at the user experience and if you look at the number of people using it, it is ridiculously low. Now, that thing being said, so far as EOS is concerned, the first one is Upland, which is a gaming protocol, but if you look at the number of people using it, it is well over the top 3 combined for Cardano, and it is well over 19.5 thousand. As a matter of fact, it is 19.6 thousand users. Atomic Assets is number 2nd, but if you look at the number of users, guys, less than 1,000 people are using it, just 977. And looks like Atomic Assets is more of an NFT related protocol. And the third one, guys, is a gaming protocol called as Prospectors, and number of people using it on a 24-hour basis is once again less than 1,000 at 916. Now, to be honest, guys, when you talk about blockchain protocol or the so-called Web 3.0, this number ideally should be 5 or maybe 10 times more than that it is. And this is where I talk about the user experience, guys. When you talk about blockchain and Web 3.0, needs to be 10 times better in order for people to switch it. If the user experience is not 10 times better, I don't think so we'll be getting a lot of users using these protocols. Now let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. It is currently at $26,884, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.21%. Since the last 7 days though, it is down by 7.06%. And look, since the last few months, there's a lot of hype surrounding ordinals, and lately there was a lot of hype surrounding BRC20 tokens. Because of that, there is a lot of congestion as well. Now, one of the OGs of Bitcoin called as Samson Mao, who's also a Bitcoin maximalist, does actually believe that this hype will disappear in a matter of few months. I kind of agree to him and I'd like that thing to happen, but you need to understand, guys, that Samson Mao and selected individuals are the key people who do make decisions so far as blockchain's development is concerned. Now, could it be possible that they consider BRC20 token and ordinals which is built on Bitcoin blockchain as a bug and they try to delete it from Bitcoin blockchain? In the crazy world of Bitcoin, all of the things is possible. Now, what do you think, guys? Will the ordinals and BRC20 token hype, will it continue or will it die down? Mention them in the comments below. Now, the price of Ethereum is $1,796 since the last 24 hours. It is marginally up by 0.22%. Since the last 7 days though, it is down by 6.16%. Binance Coin, guys, is $311. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.46%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 3.85%. And in a few minutes, guys, I'm going to be talking about Binance's news, where they are definitely leaving Canada. But before that, guys, a massive event that is going to take place today is regarding the US debt ceiling. And Joe Biden did actually state on Saturday that talks with Congress on raising the US government's debt limit were moving along, and more will be known about the progress in the next 2 days, that is 15th. Now, Reuters, they did publish an article which stated that Biden is expected to meet with Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who's often called as a rhino, and other congressional leaders early week to resume negotiations. Now, guys, you need to understand that as of today, the US debt ceiling is $31.4 trillion. And guys, listen, in the article that Reuters has published, they stated the US Department of Treasury says it could run out of money by as early as 1st of June unless lawmakers lift the nation's debt ceiling. Now, just to give you some context, guys, on what the US debt ceiling is, this US debt ceiling was created by the Congress in 1917. So essentially, it is a debt limit or ceiling that sets the maximum amount of outstanding federal debt by the US government and what is it the maximum limit that they can incur. Now, one thing which I did find out via Wikipedia is that in the United States, the debt ceiling or debt limit is a legislative limit on the amount of national debt that can be incurred by the US Treasury, thus limiting how much money the federal government may pay or the debt is already borrowed by borrowing more money. And listen, guys, a few days ago in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast, I did mention that Kevin McCarthy did actually state that he's willing to extend the debt limit by another $1.5 trillion. And if that thing happens, the market would look pretty much good. And what kind of an impact will that have on the price of Bitcoin? I definitely do think that the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will definitely pump up. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to YouTube and look at the video by Ray Dalio called as How the Economic Machine Works, because it clearly explains how the economic machine works. Now let me try to paint a picture of what I think is the US debt ceiling. So take for instance, there is a person who has a salary of $1,000. Now because he has a salary of $1,000, he can go to his bank and he can get a credit card for let's say $10,000. And if he does go out and make spendings of let's say $6,000, that $6,000 that he spends is a debt and he has to pay them. And one thing Ray Dalio very beautifully mentions in the video is that one person's spendings, that is $6,000, is another person's income. Which means if the person has spent $6,000 on buying a couple of things, that might be an expense for him. But let's say for the store, it becomes an income. Now keeping that $6,000 in mind, look at it at a macro level from a country's point of view. You also have the social security number, you have government expenses quite a lot. And this number, guys, as of today is as high as $34.4 trillion. Now what would happen if the person does not pay the $6,000? Something which I did mention earlier. One person's expense is another person's income, which means the person who has sold him the product worth $6,000 will not be getting the funds and he will feel the brunt. And this is the reason why the US debt ceiling needs to be increased. I'm pretty much sure, guys, as and when the date comes in closer, the US debt ceiling will increase. So the big question is, how will that impact the price of Bitcoin? And the answer is pretty simple. When Rhino Kevin McCarthy agrees to increase the debt ceiling, now mind you guys, he does have few conditions that the left-leaning administration will not go wild on the expenses and quite a lot of other. But once that thing happens, it means the economy is in a much better state, and because of that, I do feel that the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will definitely pump up. Now all my price predictions, guys, are 100% right 50% of the time. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding PEPE coin versus Coinbase. Now what happened is that Coinbase did actually put up a blog, and in that blog initially they actually mentioned that the meme PEPE is a symbol of hate and it represented far-right ideologies. And guys, listen, if you follow politics and if you truly know the history of PEPE, that is exactly what it was. But nevertheless, because of the news, PEPE token did actually sunk down by 32%, and because of that, they did actually fall down from top 50. And guys, listen, the PEPE community got completely wild and they did actually fight back stating PEPE is love. And they did make really funny memes of Brian Armstrong and quite a lot of other. Eventually what happened is that Paul Grewal did actually mention via Twitter that they definitely screwed up and they were definitely sorry about it, and the hashtag delete Coinbase was definitely trending, and Coinbase's 24-hour trading volume got significantly impacted. And this, guys, is the power of community and the power of meme. Now despite the apology, guys, you need to understand Coinbase hasn't listed PEPE coin or hasn't given any promise in regard to the Frog Team meme coins to be included. Now could it be possible that PEPE coin will be added onto Coinbase? I definitely do think so, and listen to this, guys. As and when the news develops that PEPE coin is going to be added, let's say in Coinbase, I wouldn't be surprised if the community goes wild and the price of PEPE definitely comes up to the moon. So definitely keep an eye on that. Now guys, let's discuss some unfortunate news, and this is regarding Binance. Now what happened on the 12th of May, Binance did actually mention that they are willing to join other prominent crypto businesses in proactively withdrawing from the Canadian marketplace. And guys, as we know, Canadian administration is definitely extremely left-leaning. And guys, what's going to happen is Canadian users will be receiving an email with the comprehensive information on how this will be impacting the business moving forward. So if you're someone from Canada and are using Binance, what I'd really urge you to do is go to Binance's tweet for the 12th, and they did provide very simple explanation. And the official information via Twitter did actually state that because of new guidance related to stablecoins and investor limit provided to cryptocurrency exchanges, it makes Canada a no longer profitable business for Binance, and because of that, unfortunately, they have made a final decision to move out from Canada. And guys, one thing which I mentioned several times in my podcast, when we talk about politics, right-wing ideologies and right-wing politicians are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, definitely in favor of open source cryptocurrencies and freedom of speech, but left-wing ideologies, generally speaking, are not in favor of cryptocurrencies, not in favor of Bitcoin, and definitely not in favor of open source and innovation as well. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding South Korea, and the news is surrounding LG Electronics, and looks like they're definitely making the headways in NFTs. And News BTC did actually publish an article which actually stated that a report which is published on World Intellectual Property Organization's database for intellectual property, and via that it was disclosed that LG Electronics did actually apply to acquire NFT trading patent for its smart TV. And the LG technology, guys, will enable users to connect the crypto wallet and an NFT market server for trading, and after connecting the NFT server, users will see on-screen QR code to enable them to transact to the crypto wallet. Now, what is the use case of that? I really am not sure, because I very specifically remember Samsung Smart TV, they tried to do something similar. Unfortunately, I did not see any much news about it, but nonetheless, it's definitely some positive news. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding Dubai UAE and the Middle East, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions of Dubai-based Hype Marketing, which is introducing innovative Web 3.0 marketing strategies. Now the website for Hype Marketing is hypem.io, which is H for Harry, Y for Yellow, P for Peter, E for Elephant, M for Mother.io, and they're located in Dubai Silicon Oasis. Now Dubai-based Hype Marketing is introducing Web 3.0 marketing services, and they offer innovative and cutting-edge marketing solutions for businesses, and they're focusing on blockchain startups and crypto projects. Now mind you guys, the services include marketing, PR, advisory, social media, community building, and content creation. And based on the news, what it says is that they are leveraging Web 3.0 technologies to connect with customers in new ways. Unfortunately, I could not find an explanation on how they're connecting Web 3.0 technologies, but nonetheless, Hype Marketing offers tailored marketing solutions for blockchain startups and crypto projects. So maybe if you're a crypto project and it does need some recognition in the market or some kind of social media presence, you may want to check out Hype Marketing. And based on the newscast, it states that testimonials from satisfied clients highlight the company's expertise in Web 3.0 marketing, and they provide press release distribution to top-tier media outlets, extensive network of media contacts and industry expertise, and Hype Marketing has a team of experienced marketers and digital experts, and they aim to become a leader in Web 3.0 marketing. But I have this very basic question, guys. Let's say if you have a Web 3.0 project, and if you were to go and approach Hype Marketing, it does open a can of worms, because if you were to do that, which means legally you're no longer Web 3.0 protocol, you're a security. So if you're someone who's heading towards Hype Marketing, what I'd recommend is check it with a legal team. Now going back to the news, Hype Marketing helps crypto projects gain visibility and traction in a competitive market, and services include PR, social media marketing, community building, influencer marketing, and content creation, and they ensure a safe and secure digital environment by working with KYC verified companies and individuals. And listen guys, if you're a startup and if you do actually use Hype Marketing, and in the marketing if they give any indication of their protocol to make some profit, you definitely need to check it out with a lawyer, because most likely the project that you're dealing with is no longer a utility and will be a security, and this is what the how we test is. Now based on the news, it says that Hype Marketing helps navigate regulatory barriers in certain regions, and they understand the challenges facing blockchain startups. Now I kind of agree to what they are doing, because blockchain startups, they definitely need some recognition, particularly in the fierce competition of Web 3.0 in Dubai, and Hype Marketing is committed to helping companies achieve the marketing goals in Web 3.0. And guys, one thing which I did mention earlier is that when you have Hype Marketing or companies that are promoting your protocol, it looks like there is a central person or a central entity who is spending money in order to go out and promote your product, and this defeats the whole purpose of decentralization or Web 3.0. How could it mean that there is a central entity, let's say like an association or Ethereum Foundation for instance, or consortium that is making decisions to focus on advertising and marketing? Most likely yes, but if that's the case, you definitely need to make sure that you're not a security, because one thing which I did mention earlier guys, if there is an association or consortium, and if the marketing is done in such a way which gives some indication of profit, there is a very high chance that you might face some real legal barriers, and that is what the whole how we test is. Now we do need some information regarding that. Drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com, or what I recommend you to do is definitely check it out with a lawyer. Now guys, let's discuss second news, and this is regarding Kenya and Venom Foundation. So the official news guys is that Kenya and Abu Dhabi's Venom Foundation have joined forces to develop blockchain Web3 hub in Africa. And let me try to give us some more news, because the hub aims to foster innovation in finance, supply chain, agriculture, and cross-border trade in Africa, and they will serve as a central platform for African tech companies and government entities. And Venom Foundation guys will provide tools and resources to support digital transformation in Kenya and other African nations. And guys, I've covered Venom Foundation at least 3 or 4 times in my podcast, and the solutions that they provide include blockchain-based supply chain management, land registry, voting systems, and asset tokenization. And Moses Kuria, who's Kenya's cabinet secretary for investment, trade and industry, expressed optimism about the hub's potential for sparking innovation. And Africa, guys, as you know, has seen a significant increase in blockchain deals, with companies raising $474 million in 2022, which is a 429% growth compared to 2021. And a few days ago, guys, in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did mention about Paxful and their hashtag called Built with Bitcoin are definitely helping kids so far schooling is concerned in Africa. So this looks like it's a positive news. And Christopher Louis Su, the Chief Technology Officer of Inam Foundation, believes that the blockchain technology will empower African nations to capitalize on the assets and compete globally. And guys, one news which I did cover earlier in the year is that Venom Foundation and Iceberg Capital did actually announce a $1 billion fund for Web3 and blockchain firms. And Kenyan lawmakers have introduced a Finance Bill 2023, which proposes taxing cryptocurrencies and NFT transfers. And this, guys, will be an absolutely massive deal. But one thing you need to understand, guys, is that registered cryptocurrency exchanges and NFT marketplaces would be required to pay 3% of transfer values to the government in Africa. And the partnership with Venom Foundation is a significant step in establishing a blockchain and Web3 hub in Africa, and the hub will facilitate knowledge exchange and stakeholder collaboration to enhance digital transformation, and it aims to revolutionize various industries benefiting local and global communities. And Africa's abundant natural resources and human capital make it a favorable environment for blockchain innovation, and Venom Foundation's scalable proof-of-stake-based blockchain solution will attract technology companies to the region. And Gaza Finance Bill 2023 proposal is subject to readings that would impact the taxation of cryptocurrencies and NFTs in Kenya and in the coming years. But guys, listen, the collaboration signifies progress towards establishing a blockchain and Web3 hub in Africa, so definitely positive news. So those were the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXP. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXP listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Ahmad who asks, will the news regarding BRICS impact the value of US dollar and how will it impact the price of Bitcoin? Now Ahmad, this is such a brilliant and beautiful question. Now for our listeners, you need to know when you talk about BRICS, it's spelled as BRICS, that stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now to answer your question, I definitely do think that will impact the value of the US dollar, because what is going to happen, Ahmad, is when you're doing international transactions, rather than using the US dollar, they will be using a different currency. I definitely do think it's going to have a massive impact on the US dollar. Now what kind of an impact will it have on the price of Bitcoin? To be honest, Ahmad, at this point of time, I really cannot tell, because Bitcoin ideally should have replaced the US dollar, but looks like Bitcoin at this moment is definitely not replacing the US dollar, and this is where Dr. Saifuddin Amos kicks in, and he did actually write a book called as the Bitcoin Standard. So essentially what he was talking about is that Brazil, Russia, India, China should have used Bitcoin in order to do cross-border settlement and the instant finality, and to be honest, the countries in BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and I believe it's South Africa, if they would have used Bitcoin, it would have definitely helped each and every country. Now what will happen is, Ahmad, because of the news regarding BRICS, what would happen, let's say, if Venezuela or Pakistan were to join them as well? I'm pretty much sure it's definitely going to reduce the value of the US dollar. Now, so far as Bitcoin is concerned, I really am not sure how that will impact. What I'm thinking is something really crazy, Ahmad, and you tell me if I got it right or wrong, or if I'm just shooting things out of my ass. Let's say because of the US debt ceiling, if the Biden administration does actually decide to go out and buy some Bitcoin and put it as reserves, what would happen then? If that thing happens, Ahmad, I do feel that the price of Bitcoin would actually pump up to the moon and definitely help strengthen the United States economy, and because of that, will definitely help strengthen the US dollar as well. And you know what I think, Ahmad, what will happen is other countries will try to follow a similar pursuit as well. Whatever US does, other countries definitely tend to follow. So let's say, for instance, on Monday, that is today, the Biden administration does actually announce that they are planning to consider of buying Bitcoin and keeping it as a reserves, so that way they can go ahead and manage the US debt ceiling a bit better. If that thing would happen, US economy will be in absolutely phenomenal and in a strong position. And because of that, I do think the value of the US dollar will pump up as well. And I wouldn't be surprised over time, even the countries in BRICS, they would try to incorporate having Bitcoin as well, and that would be absolutely crazy. And the price of Bitcoin would actually pump up to the moon in just a matter of minutes. But again, these are just my thoughts. So to answer your question, at the moment, because of BRICS, it definitely is impacting the value of US dollar. At the moment though, it's not impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but over a period of time, I definitely do think it's going to impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So those are the questions, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series in Blockchain DXP. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Mondays to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee date works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East, and the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.